Bring the kids, bring grandma and grandpa, heck, bring everyone and come to the Mesquamaket Spring Fest in Westerly, May 10th, 11th, and 12th at Mesquamaket State Beach. You'll find an array of great food trucks, arts and craft vendors, games, rides, and a Ferris wheel with panoramic views. Friday night is John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band kicking off a weekend of great music on the main stage. It's time for summer at Mesquamaket Beach with Springfest, Mesquamaket.org.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Your Time to Thrive podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm your host. I'm here at home today, and as always, though, I'm joined by my amazing business partner, podcast extraordinaire, fantastic friend, Benjamin Barber. We'll see if he's live over there, too.
I feel like that wasn't long enough of an intro, honestly.
Well, we haven't finished yet. My amazingly creative, talented, humble, and articulate, shy. What did we add last week? Impressive and simple carbohydrate, Benjamin Barber.
I'm not complex. I'm not a complex carb. I'm a simple carb for sure. How you doing, man? What's new?
Good, my friend. Not a lot normal stuff, just finding our way through life. Excited about today's topic, but always excited to talk to you.
I'm always excited to talk to me too. I'm always excited to talk to you, my friend. So today's topic is fear of failure, and let's just dive right into it. Because you're on vacation this week. We got a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna be out of town for the next few days. So let's get right into this and let's get to the meat of the matter. Because I've been afraid of failure my entire life, but I've also been afraid of success. So why don't you dive into this episode?
That's exactly why we're talking about this, actually. So I read this quote earlier this week, and it really resonated with me because most people can say that they have a fear of failure, right? Or have experienced failure in their lives, gotten caught back in it. Fear of success is also a big inhibitor in people's taking steps and making choices. We like safety. Right? Like it's safer to stay the same. It's safer to stay home. It's safer to not make changes. And that's not going to get us anywhere. So the quote that I read was, if you went back and fixed all the mistakes you ever made, you would erase yourself. Which, right, we usually view failure as a negative, right? Like at least that's the label that society has put on it. And we can quote a bunch of people like, Thomas and Edison failed, 7,000 times before he got to the light bulb, whatever the numbers are specifically, right? The climb is wrought with failures. We know that people who have become successful in their lives, it was not their first adventure that caused them to be successful. But I really love the way that made me think differently about life processes. Things that happen in our lives are often labeled in our own minds and in our world, whether it's reflections of our relationships or in our own perspectives. But to say that you are who you are because of your failures is a whole nother world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you need your failures, right? Like you need there's a great quote that I love. I don't even know if it's from an album or but just like the sun wouldn't be as bright if it wasn't for a great cloud every once in a while. Like you wouldn't, we need failure to, like, we learn more from our failures than we do from our successes. We learn more from the struggle and it makes everything mean more, right? Like if things were easy, they wouldn't make as much of a difference. They wouldn't matter as much. And so it's really important to like understand that and to grasp what you're really like holding on to.
Oh, 100%. You're talking about contrast comparison.
Okay.
Right? Like that reflection, right? To understand the like you said, the sun versus the clouds, right? Like the contrast of that is that having experienced negatives, you can experience positives. Mm-hmm. Right. we'd always talk about emotional sides to this stuff. And I think that's one of the pieces that I love about this conversation that we always have. But that's for me the biggest piece of this thought process, because people expect me to say failure is related to like failure of repetitions, right? Because like in the gym, you're looking to reach failure on some of your sets, right? I don't want everybody to be like falling under a bar or dropping weights, right? You shouldn't collapse and not be able to breathe after your workout, but finding the extent to which you can go and then need to fix it, right?
Yep. Yep.
But I think you hit it on the head as far as saying that the contrast is what really matters, because too often we highlight the successes and don't recognize what it took to get there, right? Like if you talk about somebody's fitness journey or somebody's even making life changes in their lives, it took knocking on a couple of doors usually, right? We have had to have been through several relationships in our lives or several jobs in our lives to have found the place where we are right now.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at if you look at relationships, for example, right? Like the amount of people that are happy in the relationships that they're in right now, right? And that's what I want to take 100%, nearly 100% of the people that are happy in their current relationships. Nearly 100% of them have had relationships previously. Like the majority of people, whether it was a high school relationship, whether it was a whatever, right? But you've probably failed at a relationship, or a relationship has failed in the past, and you're happy with the current one you have, right? It's like that Garth Brooks song, Unanswered Prayers. So, I thank God for unanswered prayers. This is what I wanted. This is the woman that I wanted. This is the man that I wanted. This is the person that I wanted to be with forever. And then I wasn't, and then that hurt, and it was a failure of the thing, right? And like blame can go in any which way. Relationships are the most complicated thing in the world, but you wouldn't be where you are now, and you wouldn't be in the happy situation that you are now without failing at that. And like, yeah, I'd like to learn my lessons. God, I'd like to learn my lessons easy. I would like to learn my lessons easy. I would like to not suffer. I would like to, get it right the first time as much as possible. But like, chances are that you're a little bit of a better version of yourself, and you know the things that were the pitfalls before. If you take the lessons that are learned from failure, then you can take those lessons and bring them into whatever the next thing is for you.
100%. 100%. That's if you don't learn from your past, you're doomed to repeat it. Right.
Yep.
And I agree with that. I don't think we need to quote specific numbers, but I think you're 100% on point with that estimation. The hope is that you're learning, the hope is that you're continually assessing. I mean, I say that in the gym all the time about repetition ranges or weights, like always assess, is this enough? Like, is this enough to push my body to the point where I'm going to affect a change? Whereas what you're talking about with the relationships, hopefully through your trials and tribulations and through mistakes, through conversations that afterwards you think, wow, I could have done better, or I should have just kept my mouth shut and just listened. There's the life lessons that you learn through the failures. Like you said, you learn more from your failures. I find that the life lessons we learn from our failures are much more indelibly imprinted on our psyche. It's almost because of our societal pieces, but I feel like they're just a deeper message. You often the wins, you're like, okay, I win. Like if you can lift something that's too light, okay. But if you try to lift something that's really heavy and you're capable of moving it correctly, that you remember. Yeah. Like accomplishing something, like when you don't think you can do one more round in the gym, or when you don't think that you have enough energy to have a heart-to-heart with somebody that you care about, but you just take a deep breath and you listen and you give that person what they need in the moment, and you don't try and put yourself into it. it doesn't take as much energy as you think it would.
Yeah.
And I've learned that lesson, and that's through my experiences in relationships, that to just take some deep breaths and hear the other person makes all the difference.
You've never met somebody who hasn't failed, right? So the thing is, like going back to relationships for a second, right? Like almost no one, there are some anomalies out there, but almost no one is like Corey and Topanga from Boy Meets World, right? Where they met when they were 3 and they were each other's first kiss, and then they dated all through high school, and then they got married, and then they had 2 kids, and everything's just perfect. Life isn't a TV show. Yes, there are some people that were childhood sweethearts, high school sweethearts, and like, stayed together forever, and that's beautiful. But like most people, that's not the case. Most people that ever start a business fail at something first, right? They usually have started 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 businesses. If they're like, most entrepreneurs are serial entrepreneurs. Most people that try something, most people don't get a job when they're 14 years old, and that's the job that they stick with for the rest of their life.
No.
Most people don't get a job when they're 22 and fresh out of college, and that's the job that they stick with for the rest of their life. Especially now, right? Especially in the last 20, 30 years. Like these things of like, and whether that be you failed at something, whether that be the job failed at it, whether it be, you started a business and had the wrong employees and like, stuff got messed up, whatever it may be, something failed. You've experienced failure.
Yeah.
And I think that going back to the topic at hand and the title of the show today, that's all well and good. You want to, as I said, like, please let me learn my lessons softly, gently, easy. You don't want to, it's how hard you fail. You don't want to fail hard. You don't want to completely deplete yourself. You don't want to, do all of that stuff. That's super negative. You don't want to do that. However, you don't want to not fail. You don't want to be afraid of failure. You don't want to not take risks. You don't want to not be in a relationship because it might end. You don't want to not go to the gym because you might not go 5 times a week and have the perfect body that you've wanted. You might not want to not start that job because it might not be exactly what you want, right? The fear of failure is the thing that prohibits us from living our everyday life.
Mic drop, man. That's 100% true. Yeah. Yeah, we don't drop the microphones. Those are really expensive pieces of equipment there in the studio today. Yeah, no, but you're absolutely right. So many times we let the fear speak for us. Like we were talking about last week, which is how this got precipitated, and how we let fear make our choices. And while I was doing some of the research for last week's podcast, I came across this quote, and I realized that that is probably the hardest inhibitor for people to cross over. That the fear, and both, right? Like the dichotomy of that fear of failure and the fear of success. That when we realize that you're only failing forwards, we can change that. Right? Like if you're, like you said, if you're going to learn from it, then you're going to carry forward. You're still moving forward. You haven't lost anything. You've just figured out what didn't work. I had a manager one time in a previous job that didn't work, try to encourage me to push further and harder with sales, like doing like telemarketing and face-to-face conversations, that you just have to keep hammering it, keep calling, keep hammering it. Every no you hear is one step closer to a yes, was the phrase. And it's true. I mean, it's a terrible way to think about the way that people have to live their lives and hammer out hardcore sales. But the truth is, that's the reality, that you have to keep trying to figure out what is going to work for you and not give up, not let that hiccup, not let that one step that didn't work the way you expected it to. Like, yeah, I love that's an amazing song, actually, that Garth Brooks song. because what we really think we want isn't really what we want. It's just what we thought we wanted,
Yep.
right? We've always talked in the gym about reality for successes and finding the balance between what I thought I wanted. Like most people come to the gym or come talk to me and say that they have specific finite goals of like losing weight or gaining muscle. You know, I want to get into better shape. Well, that's really not the goal. The goal is to create a habit of quality of life where they have fitness involved and smart nutrition, right? So creating a healthy habit of moving and a healthy habit of eating better is what they're really looking for, where they're just fixating on one piece. You know, that's where people get stuck too. Like we've got people coming out of the New Year's resolutions right now going, I failed at this year. I failed my resolutions, right? Like I didn't succeed in my goal of going to the gym and losing 20 pounds before summer. Well, maybe, but that's only if we're looking finitely at the success, right?
Yeah.
Like you and I've talked about renewing those resolutions or finding the balance in what is a long-term success point to use as a reference for failure and success.
Yep. So, that being said, what do we do? How do we avoid letting the fear of failure prevent us from living our life?
That's a great question. I think it's the same concept that we talked about with fear before, honestly, is recognizing what kind of a reaction we're having to something, right? You know, it's actually, I had somebody this morning who was doing a little cardio push and they came out of the sled push and they said, I can't breathe. I said, really? They said, why? I said, well, if you couldn't breathe, you and I'd be having this conversation with you lying on the floor and me sitting next to you because you'd have problems breathing. Like you were literally couldn't breathe. We'd be having a different conversation, you know? So it's often our perception of the reality that I encourage people to pay attention to, right? So if you made the goal this year to lose 20 pounds coming out of New Year's and to go to the gym all the time, and you have not yet lost that weight, my suggestion is to look at the gratitude side of it. We
Yep.
always want to look at the other side of the coin, right? Like, what did you do? Because
Right.
just like you said, everybody has failed. No matter what you're doing, if you're attempting something, you're succeeding. It might not be what you thought was going to be a success point or measurable gauge for your success, right?
Yeah.
I might not have lost weight, but I really got into the gym a couple of times and I've never done that before. Or
Right.
I lost some weight, but I didn't lose as much as I thought I wanted to, right? Or with the job, you know, somebody gets fired or they start over a career and they have to start all over again. Yeah, that's frustrating. I can definitely commiserate with that, having restarted my life a couple of times. But you figured out what you hate to do. Like I know I don't like sitting at a desk and working at a computer all day long. I spent time doing that. And I know I hate sitting at a desk.
Right.
And my time in that world isn't necessarily a failure because I learned a lot about talking to people and talking with people. I learned a lot about time management. I learned a lot about selling the realities and not selling people. You know, that you shouldn't try and sell people. You should try and help meet their need. And if you meet somebody's need, if you are able to provide somebody an opportunity for what they want, then you're not selling anything. You're not losing anything. So my first answer on that is that if you're looking to fix something that you find is a failure, sit back and realize, or look at and try and realize what it is that you succeeded in. Like, what's the whole picture first, right? Like, get the micro perspective and come back to a macro perspective and try and decide what it is that you're really looking to achieve on a long-term basis. Because that'll give you perspective at first, right? Because that's perspective is 100% of life. Maybe 99. I'll give you 99.
Yeah, it is though. Do you have a quote today?
I do actually. I got a couple quotes.
What do we get?
So the quote of the day today, and it relates to the success that we're talking about. But remember, on this show, we talk about fitness, we talk about health, we talk about mindset. The reality is, whatever your successes are, you should be measuring them from the perspective of what am I gaining from this regardless of where I am, right? So it shouldn't just be, did I fail or not? Like if you feel like you're failing at something, there's always a flip side to that coin. You have won at something else, right? Like if this relationship failed, then it allowed me the opportunity to start a new relationship with somebody else. If this job failed, then it allowed me the opportunity to start a new job. If you didn't work out at the gym because that just didn't work for you this year, then maybe you're not a gym person. Maybe you need to start riding your bike outside, or maybe you need to start doing yoga at a studio, or maybe you need to hire a personal trainer to come to your house, or maybe you just need to go play a sport, right? Fitness doesn't come from just one box.
Yep.
Your failures are just steps towards your successes. So the quote today, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. By Winston Churchill.
I know that one well.
Right?
Yep.
I love that quote because it's not a stopping point. Just because something didn't work the way you thought it was going to from the very beginning does not mean that you have to stop. It does not mean that you have failed at life. It means that you have failed at something that wasn't meant for you in the first place. Just keep going. Try something else. There's way too many options out there. There's too many places to work. There are too many foods. There are too many fitness opportunities. It's not a failure. It's just one step forward in your success plan.
I love it.
I love you.
I love me as well. No, I love you, man. Absolutely, I do. So, what else? Where can people, what's going on at Precision? Obviously, we just released that awesome video tour.
Oh my God.
Precision, which honestly, like, to be completely real with everybody, we had been sitting on for a little while and didn't even realize that we had it. So I think that we must have released that in 2022 and forgot about it somewhere.
If it got released, I have no idea. That was the first time I'd seen it. If you're not sure what we're talking about, folks, either go on my social media, which is the Thrive Training Team at Instagram, or the 321 Media websites. There's a great video that Ben and his team put together for us at Precision, and it's definitely a time, like it's almost like a time capsule because there's some reference points in there. You can tell when it's from, but it's not ancient. It's only like a year and a half old, but yeah. We're still having a great time down at Precision Fitness. We're the most affordable place in Westerly for what we do, which is personalized group and one-on-one fitness. We're there to make sure that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. And in the world of fitness, we are definitely, I would say, one of the funnest places to be at because we take our fitness very seriously, but everything else is a little loose. All ages, all fitness levels. Come on down.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Successes, right?
Absolutely. Find some successes and don't be so afraid of failure. Jason, Thank you so much. You guys can go to thrivetrainingteam.com for more info on Jason. Anything else, buddy?
Nah, that's it, man. Have a great and healthy day, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. And Ben, I appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate you. Have a safe trip, dude.
I will. You too, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Experience local excellence with RoofRite Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, RoofRite specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, RoofRite is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Ever thought about leveling up your fitness game in a fun and meaningful way? Kiefer's Martial Arts on Granite Street has everything you're looking for. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and of course, adult karate. It's not just about getting fit, it's about building your self-confidence, discipline, and that unstoppable feeling you get from all your hard work. Stop in to Kiefer's Martial Arts today to sign up.
Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
Hot summers and cold winters can be unbearable, but D&V Mechanical has the solution for you. As a Mitsubishi Diamond dealer, we provide energy-efficient and personalized comfort solutions for your home. Our experienced technicians will install your new system quickly and efficiently, ensuring your complete satisfaction. Don't suffer through another season of discomfort. Contact D&V Mechanical today for a personalized ductless mini-split installation that fits your lifestyle. D&V Mechanical, your comfort is our top priority. The Thirsty Beaver Hometown Pub and Grub in Dunn's Corners is your ultimate destination for refreshing drinks, delectable dishes, and memorable moments with family and friends. Enjoy live music, DJ trivia every Wednesday night, and we're now the official spot to come watch and root for your favorite Westerly High School sports teams. The Thirsty Beaver, located at 265 Post Road, Spindrift Village, Westerly.
What's going on, Westerly? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners, Verizon authorized retailer. And right now is the best time to come on in and get a brand new phone. We are offering our hottest new 5G phones, the iPhone 15, the S24 Pixel 8 for free with a trade-in. And the best part is 5G is finally coming down here to Westerly and the surrounding areas. So make sure you're on the best network and get it for free when you're on the right plan. Come see us at 224 Post Road.